I've been saying it since we put the play in. That was the option that was going to be open, and it was a good play and good call. Kawhi was going to be open too. I just watched it, and Kawhi was going to be wide open too. So it was a good play, good execution, good screening. Danny just made the shot.
Um, and after good defense, you guys let a big lead get away. How do you address that?
We played down. We didn't play up to our level. We didn't play up to our own team level. We let our defense go into the offensive end and let our offense go into the defensive end, which we can't have happen. We got to just play consistent through the whole game, no matter what's going on.
What's to say about Danny to shake off the blow by and hit that shot right after?
I don't think anybody's mad at he got to listen. We rather make him take that tough two, and we all stuck up, and Danny kind of pressed up, make sure we didn't lose the game, and that was good defense by him, good decision by him, and we rather get the last shot, and he made it.
The first time that this group has kind of had a game like that, Kyle, like come down to the buzzer like that, and do you guys feel like you're developing a little bit of togetherness there and being able to
Just
run
gotta
a play
get
like
better.
that?
Just gotta get better. Executing the guys on the floor. We all executed. We worked on that play a few times, and we just executed. It's about the execution.
How's the ankle feel?
You know the answer to that.
Were you close to that all the not playing?
You already know the answer to that.
See them off?
You know the answer to that.
Some interesting guys on this team. Actually, it's pretty good. We actually walked through that earlier today. Me and Caleb discussed it. What might be open for that look. Said obviously I'm not the first option, but it worked out that way. Serge set a good screen. I came off pretty open, and he threw it and took a chance. So.
Was that a little payback for what had happened a few seconds earlier?
I mean, it was nice to make one. I'm missing quite a few all game, especially open ones. I don't get open too often. I don't get many open looks too often. And, it was good to see some go in. But, yeah, it was nice to make a basket after getting scored on. I just didn't want to give many threes. But I was a bad student today. I didn't pay attention in the huddle that we had a foul to give. Sorry, Coach, if you're watching this. I'll be better. I'll read the board and follow instructions.
To get an opportunity to do that after you admit you just made a mistake,
Mm-hmm.
and now you get an opportunity to pay it back. Is it?
It was great to be able to have him allow me to get that opportunity. Usually most coaches wouldn't go to a guy or keep him in the game. You make that type of mistake. Usually you come out, you're subbed, and sit on the bench. But Nick has 100% faith in all of us and me, and continues to encourage us and allows us to play through our mistakes. So it was great to be able to stay on the floor and be able to come back and make a play.
When do you give the foul? Once you get a foul?
It's tough. It's tough.
Shooters on the floor.
For
the lane
sure.
was open, the floor was spread.
For sure. Obviously, you don't foul him when he's going to the basket. You don't want to give an N1. He was holding that ball at the top of the key for a little bit. He let the clock run down, maybe 2 or 3 seconds. That's probably when I would have given it. My thought process was I've seen him hit some threes for game winners before. I didn't want that to happen to us or me. So I don't want to give him any airspace, and no threes, just give him a 2. And if we go into overtime, I live it. I believe in our guys. I believe in what we can do and in closing out games. And if we win into overtime, I think we would have got it done. But obviously we didn't want to do that, and luckily we didn't.
In that fourth, it seemed like he was coming off screens, whether it was you on him or Fred on him. Like Will, what made him so tough tonight on that end?
They were setting some really good screens. Obviously with the league of being able to not be able to get physical with guys coming off pin downs, he was curling to get to the basket, and our communication wasn't the greatest. We're still working on it getting better. We had a couple times where we made some good switches, where Serge helped and I got back to his. But it's tough when you have those two guys setting screens for each other. Vucevic shooting it just as well from behind the arc, and you don't want to leave him open for a roll layup against the guard or 3-pointer. So it's just communicating. We got to get better at it.
Do you risk the fade if you go underneath on that? Is that what you?
That's one thing we didn't want to risk. We wanted him curl and shoot floaters and twos. We figured that's a lower percentage shot for him, and better for us. And taking it contested over a shot or big or somebody challenging from behind. So sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes guys shoot well and get hot. Some guys shoot poorly. But it looked like it was working well for him, and we got to find a way to change that up next time we play them.
Nick was saying you probably didn't realize that this wasn't your best game yet. You were sort of talking near like
I knew it wasn't. Yeah, I think everybody knew it was my best game. I said, many times where I get open looks and they're just off the mark. But it happens. luckily I had some years in this league to help me mature to stick with it and be able to mentally stay locked in and just look forward to the next shot.
On that play, was there any situation in which you would have passed it or
No.
kicked it out? Or
No.
once
I mean, I
you
knew we had very short clock.
Yeah.
Once I caught it, it was make something happen. And it's most likely a shot, not passing or dribbling. I saw about 3 guys jump. Yeah, I saw a bunch of heads. They jump really high, a lot of them above the rim. Terrence Ross, Aaron Gordon, those guys, and I just tried to give it a chance to put it up in the air, so got lucky.
Danny, how do you address the trend? You guys have been able to get big leads. Unfortunately, you've also let teams come back on you. How do you address that trend? What do you say? How do you change it?
It comes with maturity and time, and that was one of the things we talked about going into the fourth, closing out the game. Well, we had leads, and we've also had close games where we haven't closed out. Tonight, we wanted to step up, show some character, and execute, talk, communicate defensively, offensively, do what Nick asks us to do. But so it's going to take some time, but hopefully we get some guys' bodies back, because usually our depth is what helps us. But we got to mentally stay locked in.
Orlando's been down a few years. They're trying to get back in that playoff mix. Do you see them making strides? I mean,
for sure. It's just a couple of years and one big piece away. They got a lot of great young guys with high potential that are very good. And once they mature and develop, obviously Aaron Gordon's developed, but you need some other guys. And said one big piece away, and they could be a very big threat in the East.
Danny, when's the last time you hit a game-winning shot before tonight?
No idea, man. It doesn't happen often. I don't get my number called often, but I'd have to go very far back in the books to remember. Not many of them are game-winning shots, but some of them are shots that change the momentum. Some of them are shots at the end of the game, but I couldn't tell you.
Take us through the last play first off, please.
Well, that's the first option on it. We stretch him out there a little bit, and Danny gets a running start and heads off a double screen down, and then there's some more stuff to come off that. But that's the first option. It's the first time we've used it, so it was open. Kyle made a great read, and obviously, good shot. Good shot.
Another game where you guys built a big lead, and it dissipates. It kind of gets frittered away. What do you say to your guys? How do you address that?
Well, we had 3 really good quarters of defense. I think it was 17, 20, and 16, and we had an absolute disaster in the third. Most of that was our defensive fault. Some of it was our offensive fault. We had some shots there in the third quarter that didn't go, and I think we got a little de-energized because our offense wasn't we weren't making shots, and then our offense didn't become very good most of the rest of the game because of that. Gotta not live through shots going in and out and keep playing defense. I mean, our defense was unbelievable. First 24 minutes and the last 12. I mean, really, really tough. And we're going to keep trying to stretch that out and not have these. They're just. It's a long game and a really good team, and you're not going to be able to guard them maybe the whole game, but that's our goal eventually.
What does it say about Danny? I mean, not his best game on either end, and yet the ball goes to him and he drills it.
I don't even know if Danny knows if it's his best game or not, right? I think he's going to play, the situation that's in front of him, and he's probably got a really short memory, and he's not looking forward either. He was in that play, and he knows he was the first option. Obviously, came off there and called for the ball like he wanted it, and Kyle gave it to him.
The inbounder, you might go with the taller guy. What's the thinking with Kyle? Just his smarts and the read? I mean,
that's just kind of the way that play sets up. We have a variety of guys that inbound it depending on what the play is, but that's just the way that one sets up. And he's a really good decision maker. You're right. There's times when you want to use a little more length so you can see over the top of things, but he's been small most of his life and can see around things. You can see over and around things sometimes pretty good.
Feel free to not answer this. Is there an action which he gets the ball back in that scenario? Or?
Possibly. Possibly. That'd be a good reason to have him take it out, wouldn't it?
Kyle will be good to go tomorrow with the ankle and everything?
We shall see. We shall see. I don't know. I think he's probably okay, but we'll see.
In the fourth, when you guys were sort of turning it over at will and some offensive rebound problems, you put Serge and Jonas on the floor at the same time. Why'd you do that? And it seemed to work out for you guys.
Yeah, we had some issues, right? We had Pascal with 5 fouls. Again, we have a pretty short bench, right? We're missing, a couple, 3 guys, and it just seemed like we were a little too small, right? I don't mind playing small, but at that point it was kind of like Lorenzo, Fred, Kyle, Danny at the 4. It it's not that bad. But when the other three are all point guards too, I just decided to get those guys back out there, put Serge on Gordon, and leave us big a little bit.